when I first really got the book writing business together, very right at the beginning, I ran a bunch of Facebook ads, and I had somebody who was managing the ads, and of course, I was paying for the ads.
Hmm.
So I, invested in all of that, probably a good $10,000,
Okay.
and ended up ultimately with zero sales from
Oh
any of
dear.
that activity. Yeah, yeah, and it really came down to not being clear enough about my audience. And
Mm.
yeah, and it's funny because I misunderstood something because people were coming to my events, and it turns out that it was a lot of people that I had pre-existing relationships with,
I see.
right? So
Okay.
I made some assumptions about who they were and how they would translate, into into the buttons that you press on Facebook for the ad reach. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there were people showing up for strategy calls. I can say that, but really nobody was converting. And yeah, after a little while, I shut all of that off, and I said, okay, let me go back to the drawing board, and ended
Yeah.
up having dozens and ultimately hundreds of conversations with people. And
Hmm.
that's what gave me the real clarity around who my audience is. Right. So when in doubt, talk to your people.
Yeah, great, great tip. Thank you for sharing openly about that. I know it's not always something that we like to put out publicly, what didn't work, but that's the reality, right? And you've obviously learned a lot from that. That's actually something that I can really identify with as well. I think, when we're running ad campaigns, I think a lot of times people think, oh, amazing, I'm going to reach 20,000 people. But sometimes it's really not the quantity, right? It's really the quality of the people that we're reaching. And actually, we do know that when we target and hone in on the audience a little bit in a more detailed fashion with the demographics and all those good things, that we actually see better results at the end of the day, right? So, I think people, these vanity followers and impressions and all these things really don't mean a whole lot at the end of the day if they're not converting. So I really appreciate you sharing that. We've actually never had anybody so far on the show talk about that, and I think that's
Mm.
something that is actually brewing some conversations we're having behind the scenes